Right, well, hi everybody. I'll attempt to try and get this video finished. As I reported last night on the onions, and thought I'd finish off the video with the second video on the leeks. As you know, I spent most of yesterday morning down the greenhouse trying to get tidied up, getting the show leeks and that sorted out, and then we concentrated on the onions. Big show onions yesterday. Today, most onions have been finished off. I've got my Elsa Craig's put in. I've got the big onions from Dan, which I did last night, they're in. I did the Billy Lamb onions in a tray, and of course the spare onion seed that I had left I put into small tubs, which I explained on the video yesterday, that once these break surface and get to the crook stage, I'll pot them off. But the ones that's in the trays, they'll stop in the trays the way I've grown them for the last 15 to 20 years, and we'll just see what sort of difference is. As I say, I don't see the show leeks yesterday. They're fine. I'm well pleased with them. They're just ticking away nicely. Not as big as what I would like this time of year, but with the amount of time I haven't had to spend on them the last couple of months since my accident, I'm pleased at the way they are. I've got my light on, started putting the light on yesterday. I've got my gas heater sorted out. That's going up the allotment tomorrow, and hopefully we'll get some of the leaks sorted out and shifted up there so they're in full light. Tonight I've been attempting to get some of the pot leeks in. Now the pot leeks, as you know, if you're just going for the allotment, they're fine. Get your books out. You can go through them. There's plenty of varieties to choose from. My old favourite, I've grown for years, and I've tried different methods, different seeds over the years, and I always come back to the old Musselburgh. It's a good strong leek for where we live up north. It's a good variety that will last you well until the spring. We've been cropping these in March, in April, and before they go to seed. So now's the time I like to start mine off. You can start them in a cold greenhouse, nothing wrong with that. And all I like to do is, if I am starting them off in a cold greenhouse, is to use a small pot. This is just to show you. This is the Elsa Craig ones that I did. And if you haven't got a propagator or propagator lids, just an ordinary soup bag, pop it over in the cold greenhouse, and that will lift the temperature in that pot by a good couple of degrees. It'll keep it frost free, and that'll let the seeds start growing quite easily. All I would suggest you do on a sunny day is to take it off and give it a good shake. If there's any sweat on the sides, give it a good shake, because you don't want any rotten problems or boilers starting off. So just give it a shake. What you can do is you can pop a couple of split canes in the bag down the side of the pot, and this will hold the bag clear of your emerging seedlings. So that's just one little trick you can use if you haven't got any heat on in the greenhouse. As I say, I've got my heat on, and it's just ticking over 50-55, and I never have any more than that. So as I say, pot leeks, well, quite easy. I use the same mix as what I always do. Good quality compost, some nice sharp sand or perlite, make a nice free mix, and trays which I can water from the bottom. Now this is a 2 litre, this is the one I like to use. But as I say, it's up to the individual. It depends on what you're sowing, how many you're going to sow, and what you want them for. Now this time of the year, it's only beginning of January, but I always like to start my pot leeks off at this time, because up north here, we'll have a shorter season than what we do down south. So I like to get mine started in January, and I like to have a good leek ready for the end of April, beginning of May, to plant out. I know you think it's a massive pot, but when you think from now until the end of April, you're looking at 3 months. So if you're putting leeks in here, they're going to grow well, they're going to have a massive root system, but you're going to have a nice big leek. As I say, for the end of April, beginning of May, I like to have them round about pen to pencil thickness. And with this pot here, I would put easily 2 dozen seed Now I know you might think that's a bit difficult, but if you go down to your shops and shields, your basic shops, if you just picked up a packet of basic seed, like you would get up at Wilco's or one of them, you'd probably get them for about £1 a packet, which is fine. I've used them myself for different things. If I run short, lettuce, plants that are quite easy to get a hold of. It's the same majority of my stuff I send away for, because I'm always well pleased with the results. But if you go down to your local shop and get a packet of seeds, you'll probably end up with about 200 seeds in for £1 a packet, which is reasonable. Here's one of my companies that I use, Marshalls. Now this packet of Musselburgh, because they're great. They give you all the information you want. They just take a little letter. They'll tell you when to plant them, when not to plant them, how to plant them, and the depth that they want to go in. It gives you all the information really you need if you've never grown them before. But they're quite easy. But as I say, this packet of Musselburghs costs us £2, and there's 700 seeds in there. Now I know a lot of you are going to say, what are you going to do with 700 seeds? Well, quite easily use them up. As I say, I use the big 2 litre pots. These are my seed. I'm going to use 6 of these, so there'll be 6 in this tray, and I'll probably put about 50 seed in one of these, 40 to 50 seed. So in 6 of them, there's nearly a pack of them gone. I'll probably sow another tray full of 12-inch pint pots. Now in these I'll probably put about 2 dozen seed. That's in a pint pot. As I say, they're going to be in here till about April, end of April, beginning of May, and this pot will be absolutely full of root. But when I start planting out, which will be 3-4 months time, I'll show you how to go on with it. But you will get a really good leek from there. As I say, about 20-24 seed, and it's quite easy to separate a packet. If you've got 200 seed in, half it, quarter it, divide it, so you know you've got 20 or 30 in each little pile, and they're quite easy to sow. But as I say, that's my main one. That's the ones I give away to friends and family. I do sell a few LEEKS, which covers what cost to our seedlings, to people that looking on the gardens. They'd probably go for about £1 a pot, which is cheap as chips. But as I say, people that's looking for seed, looking for seedlings just to plant out, quite easy. Half pint pots, you can get away with putting a dozen in there, half a dozen, a dozen LEEKS. As I say, it depends on what you want. If you want to split up your packet into different size pots, by all means. But if you're going a smaller pot, don't forget to go smaller amount of seed. As I say, you probably get away with half a dozen seed in there, and the LEEKS will grow quite easy up until April and May when you want them. But as I say, you can use whatever size you're using. Don't forget, once it breaks surface, they want a good watering. That's why I like to use the bottom trays, because I water all mine from the bottom. But before I start, I always give them a good soaking, as I say with my onions. Chamomile tea, and that's got some lot of beneficial properties in it, which keeps mould, funguses, and different diseases away. So I always give them a good drink of that. As I say, and to start with, get your packets open, get your markers in, and then really you can just you can tip the seed into your hand, and you'll know by just looking in your hand how many you've got. Now you've got about 200 there, so what I would do with that, I would split that into at least 3. A good pinch of seed there, and you've got 2 dozen, at least 2 dozen seed in there, so that's half the pot, and another good pinch for the other side. One there. So I now know that there's at least a good 30 to 40 seed in there, which once it starts growing, they'll be up to here, they'll be massive, and they'll be nice and thick. It'll be just fine for planting out. As I say, that's the Musselburgh done. But what I will do is I'll pop the rest back in there. In fact, I'll finish this pot off now, then I know that's done. It saves me mucking around with the rest of them seedlings. But they're in there now, quite happy. You'll just go into They'll go in the greenhouse up at the allotment. No heat on, just cold. It's well prepared, the greenhouse. It's lagged inside, double skinned with the polythene. It's frost free, and if it does get too cold, I can always pop a cover over here, sheet of polythene. If it's going to be a frosty night, I'll pop the polythene over. Or if it gets really cold, I can just pick the tree up and shove it into the greenhouse where I've got the heater on, up on the back bench, just for a few nights. Bring it back out again into the cool greenhouse. I don't like these growing too fast. I just like them nice and slow. They'll probably be in here for about 3 weeks before they start breaking cover. But once the leeks break cover, I'll give them a good soaking again with chamomile tea. And then the beauty of leeks, once they start growing, they're not as they don't suffer from a lot of problems with the likes of your bedding, your tomatoes, stuff like that are prone to rotting with watering. You can water your leeks above, but using a fine rose watering can. I've never had any problems, as I say, watering them. What I like to do is put a good drink of water in the bottom of the tray, let them soak it up, and if they're still a bit dry, then by all means go over the top of them, but using nice, clear, warm water out of your greenhouse. That's at the same temperature. Give a good soak of that and they'll be fine. And as I say, keep them in the cool greenhouse and they'll grow away fine. Up until, as I say, in April, depends on what part of the country you're in. If you're down south, you'd be a little bit shorter. If you're farther north, keep them till May, because as I say, we do suffer a lot with late frosts right into April and May. So we'll get them leeks growing away, champion. I'm well pleased with them. The onions are in. The only other thing I was going to do tonight, I've well soaked that tray. As I say, I was going to get into the shows again this year. I have had a little bit of a setback with the leeks, as I say, with having my accident. But no doubt I'm determined to catch up. There's been a few people on the internet asking when to sow cabbage. Well, cabbage, I always wait until March before I sow my cabbages. Cabbage, collie, all the brassica families. Beginning of March, there's plenty of time, because once you start, if you're growing them inside, once you start coming through and you want to pot them off, and I always pot mine off into cups, half-pint cups like these. Put them off singly and you get a nice good solid root, but you don't want too big a plant, because if you're starting in March, by the end of April, beginning of May, you'll have a really big plant and a good solid root ball, and then they'll go into either a cold greenhouse or a cold polytunnel where there's plenty of fresh air, and they'll get hardened off inside there before they go outside. Tonight I'm going to sow a few of these cabbages. Now these are the giant Cornish for the show. And this is the only one I would start sowing at this time of the year. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put one seed in each individual compartment here. As I say, these are the Cornish giant seeds, and these are the only cabbage I would start off at this time of the year. By all means, if you want to sow a few early cabbages, and if you've got somewhere like a cold frame or a polytunnel like you're putting them into, you can start them off. There's nothing to stop you. But if you're sowing if you're planting just for the garden, I would really hold off till about beginning of March. Now that's them in, and all they need now is just a tad of compost, which I have left, just over the top there. Now what I'm going to be doing with these, I've got about, I think it's about 2 dozen in that packet. So I'm going to do these in about 3 or 4 different sowns. I've made an early sown now, and they can go just in that tray there. Always put your marker in, don't forget your markers, because there's nothing worse than coming along and finding there's no marker in the tray. And these are Cornish giant. Right, so that one's in. They're going to be for the show. I've never grew giant cabbages yet. The only time I grew cabbages for the house. and I have grew some big ones for the house. I tried some German ones, filter kraut this year, and I'm sure I got them from Marshall's. I'll have a look through the catalogue again, but they were an absolute massive cabbage. If you've got a big allotment with plenty of room to spare, they're the cabbages that grow. But there's about 4 or 5 really good varieties that I like to grow, but I'll go through them next month when I start preparing the seed trays and for the cabbages. As I say, I always start mine indoors. You can, if you want, sow them outdoors in a cold frame. There's a lot of people just sow them in rows in the garden, but then you're getting a later cabbage. It depends on what you want. If you want early cabbages, you can grow cabbage all year through. When I go back up the allotment next week, I'll take the camera up with this and I'll go through my greenhouses and my tunnels. One's full of winter cabbage at the moment. We'll be cropping them now, because once they're cropped, we'll have an early crop of potatoes going in. One of the other tunnels is full of spring cabbage. Now the spring cabbage will start cropping around about February, right through to April, which is fine. By the time April comes and May, the spring cabbage will be out and tomatoes will go in. And that's the way we like to do ours. We like to crop all year through. We never like to see any land idle. The only tunnel that has been idle this year is where we took the tomatoes from. We cleaned the soil, disinfected it, plenty of manure, plenty of seaweed, and we've covered it. And that was in September, October, that was finished. It was covered with black polythene, and it's only going to be idle until next month, February, and that's when we'll start our first early potatoes off. I've got a couple of bags of Casablanca to go in, which I grew last year. You can check out on some Euro videos, fantastic cropping. But they'll go in next month. But for the time being, I'm quite happy just to get these finished. The pot leeks, as I say, if you're just going for the allotment, this is the way to do it. You can get it a certain way. You don't have to use big trays like I have, but I would suggest, if you're growing for yourself and you only want a couple of pots, 2 litre rose pots, that's what you want. As I say, they're going to be in there till April now, so they want plenty of room, but you'll get a massive leek out of them, and you get a really great leek for planting out. But I'll show you all that in April when they're through. They don't need much looking after, just watering, and I say, don't let them dry out, but don't overwater them. Just keep them nice and moist. When they start going through, I'll just give them a light drink again of chamomile tea, and that's all they need. They're pretty good pest-wise. Well, about the March time, I will make up a garlic spray, and I'll go right through all my seedlings that's emerging. At the same time, I'll get started on the strawberries. A lot of strawberries are hanging up now, and that's the first spray they'll have, is a spray of garlic, and that'll keep them nice and clean for the time being. But as I say, I'm quite happy with this. I've got some Welsh onions, some spring onions, some garlic chives, garlic to sow, so I can get all that done tomorrow. But for tonight, we'll call that a day, and we'll let you know how we'll get on tomorrow with the rest of the onions. Okay, so bye for now.